supplemental information, and you all have probably heard me before, and I go fast and furious. So get those questions popped into Soapbox if you have any questions. We've got a host of folks here that are going to help me out. If you ask something, you stump me, which is very easy to do. So I am going to take control now of this, and this is supplemental information. These slides typically are things that, from a KDE perspective, someone of our offices feels like it would be nice either as a reminder or something new, but it's not really session worthy. There's not enough information. So we'll go through these very quickly. And again, if you have questions, let me know. And just to make sure, because my system was struggling earlier, hopefully you can see my slides progressing at this point. We do have some supplemental information. This is what we're going to cover today. This is the agenda for just these slides. So just a reminder, and this really came up as we were planning for this session. We really wanted high school counselors to participate in this afternoon session. So we did try to send out some messaging to high school counselors. And I will tell you, when we sent that message out, about 20% of those aired out. We got return emails that that they're no longer with them, or that email account is invalid. So I wanted to just encourage you to work with your district WAPOCs to make sure that the contacts for your schools and your district are correct. That's the system we use to communicate out with. It's also the public information that if someone has a question about the schools in Kentucky or the counselors in Kentucky, or the KSIS points of contact, this is where they're going to go. So if you look at the open house site and you choose the Kentucky schools and districts, you're going to get a listing of all the alphabet, and you just choose the letter your district starts with, and from there you can kind of scroll down, and once you get to your district, you can choose your schools. Take a look at those. If the names aren't correct, please work with your WAPOC. Your WAPOC is at the very bottom of the page. That's your web application point of contact. They can help you get that information, so you can get that information updated. We're also going to send this information out to the CIOs, which typically are the WAPOCs, and to some of the counselors and other communications. Try to get them to be looking at this information so that these contact information is up to date. We do rely on districts to update this information. As soon as something is corrected on the WAPOC side, it immediately updates the school and district list. All right, we do have some good news. I think most folks know this, but I got a question this last couple of weeks, and I thought, well, maybe I'd bring it up again. We were able to fund with ESSER 1 2 years of campus learning and 2 years of online registration. And this is the second year of that. We have funding now. We've been approved for funding with additional ESSER funds to extend those for 3 more years. It's great news. It means districts don't have to be prepared to take on those. It also means districts that maybe were reluctant to take on online registration because they were thinking it was only going to be 2 years, maybe want to extend or go ahead and start working on online registration for the coming year. Or maybe something that you've always wanted to continue to add to and you didn't know if there was time to do it. There is time to continue to work through the online registration, enhance what you're doing today, or start the process. As far as campus learning funds are tied to learning loss, and so I know most of you that are using campus learning are doing that as an interoperability with the Google Classroom. So we will be looking at some metrics we can use to show that Google Classroom work is being geared towards learning loss and helping students in that way. I think it's very doable as far as to show that. It's just finding the methodology to do that demonstration. So I'm open to suggestions if you all have got some things you're already working on in your districts. The other thing that we are going to have some funding for is early warning and data visualization enhancements. And that's one of the things that we're still working with Infinite Campus to kind of define what we could improve upon in the early warning system. And then we'll be looking at some data visualizations enhancements potentially too. So we are interested in any feedback on those systems that you'd like to provide, any wish list you'd like to provide. Please reach out to us and let us know. So we talked about e-transcripts quite a bit. I don't think anything here has not already been said today. Just refresh your data in Parchment regularly. make sure you're refreshing the data after every grading period. That's the best way to keep it current at the end of the year once grades have been posted and your graduation status have been updated. And then also release the transcripts timely. That's key to being able to get those transcripts to the universities. Kim mentioned earlier, if you're just joining us for the supplemental, that the new for 2022 is Parchment has agreed to extend another month the free option for students before they become alumni. So students will not become alumni now until September 1. So they will be able to get transcripts through August 31st at 7 p.m. Free at no cost to them. Good news for most everybody, January growth factor is not going to be calculated. One less thing you have to do, but there is still a request that you do keep the information in the system updated, check for data quality, but there'll be no January growth factor for this year. So online registration, I mentioned earlier, will be another extension for 3 years. You can take your online registration to the next level. Kim set up some training opportunities with Infinite Campus that we hope some of you will take advantage of. These are the dates, so if you want to go ahead and kind of block your calendar so that you can take advantage of some of these, this training, please do that. The information will be coming out to everybody soon, but these are just actually just come up with these dates and get the agenda and the communications out. I don't think that's gone out yet, has it, Kim? I know it's getting close.
I put it on the training site, so okay, it's on there, and it's on the newsletter.
Okay, great. So those dates are confirmed now. So we're hoping if you're not the right person, please share the information with those individuals within your district that are doing online registration. We do have new course codes coming for 2022-23. So if you're in the process of scheduling, make sure that you're aware of the course code changes. There's some links here in this presentation that show what the new course codes changes are, as well as what course codes have been depreciated. I can't even say it today. It's been a long day. And then, you can always use the searchable state course code database for additional information on courses. Nurse counts, we need student and nurse ratios are reported. They're a state reporting requirement, so we do report that information. So please remember to add the district hired and contract nurses in Infinite Campus. There is information here on, you add that as under system admin resources, district information, and district health service providers. There is data standards associated with this and instructions on how to document district health providers detail hyperlinked into this document. This information you will see reported every year on our open house site, but and all the counts come directly from Infinite Campus and what data has been entered there. Samantha Ingstrom is our contact for that. The quarantine attendance group reminder, just understand that districts should still be entering the quarantine COVID positive and the quarantine COVID exposed, that's your QCP and your QCE codes into Infinite Campus for students. The Legislative Research Commission, you can imagine there's a lot of legislative interest in this data. The expectation is that we have that data available to provide as needed and really rely on the districts themselves to keep that current. If we find problems, you will find that people are going to be reaching out to you trying to find out why the data is not available to be provided as expected. The SAR submission for 2021-2022, again, it will not be submitted this year, similar to growth factor. This is the one that the 2018-2019 average daily attendance or adjusted average daily attendance will be used for funding calculations. So we still encourage districts to do the data cleanup. It's all about data quality. The data that's used for SAR is also used for other reporting. So don't think you're off the hook completely, but we went over some data quality information earlier today, and we hope you'll take advantage of making sure that the data is good because it is used for reporting as well as analysis on, what kind of work is going to be done in the future. So let's see. All right, student tracking, data breach contacts, data branch contacts. I said that wrong. Student tracking data branch contacts. These are the contacts in the division to district support to reach out to if you have questions regarding the January growth factor, the STAR report, or QCP, QCE attendance groups. So we do have some upcoming training. Infinite Campus is offering data days and master scheduling. It is scheduled for March 1st through the 3rd. This was done last year. It was great training. It was an opportunity for folks to get a lot of training at very low cost. For Kentucky districts, we get a reduced rate of $399, and that $399 covers as many people that want to participate in your district as you can. So it's one cost for any number of people to participate. So there are a number of session topics. We have district presenters from across the nation, as well as Kentucky presenters that are going to be involved. And there are some information out there from last year on information on what kind of sessions were offered. We expect the 2022 agenda to be available next week. I think it's on the 19th. Yes, the 19th. User security preferences. We're always going to promote privacy and security. We have very confidential data with all the student data. We should think of that data as if it was our own data or our children's data. And we want to make sure that we're making good choices on settings that we set up and what we do with the data. So one of the things that campus just recently sent out was an email on January 3rd about data security. And that was a result of the fact that a teacher, not in Kentucky, I think it was California, data had access in the campus had gotten hacked because her user ID and password happened to be on the dark web. So there is some best practices that are in place that are available, and we really want to make sure folks are taking advantage of the tools within campus to set some best practices. If you go into system administration, user security, user preference management, and account security preferences, you can choose to prohibit passwords that have been previously disclosed as a data breach. You can automatically disable counts. You can do system administrators should change their passwords. I mean, even if you're doing single sign-on, and your Active Directory, your email provisions will automatically have your email and your not your emails, but your passwords update, say every 90 days or every 6 months. There's some exceptions to that, and system administrators is one. So with multi-factor authentication and with single sign-on, you still need to take some provisions at the system administrator. As most of you may be system administrators, and if you are, think about making sure you ensure your passwords are set and changed every 60 days, 90 days. You do not want to get one of your passwords released because you've got so many provisions in the system. All right. Okay. My system has locked up just a little bit. All right, we go back. Some other best practices, security account best practices, login settings. You can set your system up so that it's setting a alert when a staff account login from a new device. If we get that with other accounts, it wouldn't be that unusual to get it from an Infinite Campus. If somebody's logging into your device with your user ID and password, if it's you're going to get something, it's all good. If it's not you at least get notified and you can very quickly change your password. There's also capability of looking at doing a complete refresh of all passwords. If you've not done that in your district in the past, you might want to consider what it would take to do that. Does it make sense to do that in the summer, or does it make sense to do that early fall? But we really want to make sure that we're just not allowing passwords to stay the same password for unlimited amount of times, because you do have the possibility of a password being breached and something happening, or somebody getting access to the data that shouldn't have it. There's you've got capabilities of verifying, besides alerts, you can enable the CAPTCHA settings, you can enable suspicious login attempts mitigation tools. Please take a look at the system admin, the user security, the user preference management login security settings to see what options are available to you. Make good decisions for your district. This is a local decision from a KDE standpoint. We are promoting best practices. We are promoting the fact that you do take security very, you're making good measures in place before the data security in the system, or whether you're using data separate outside of the system. But how you do that, we do not dictate that. We rely on you to do that. The closing and the next steps here, that's all of our presentation today. But before we get into that, I just want to see if we have any additional questions. It does not look like it. From the KSIS team that has still hung out with us all day long, is there anything else you all would like to bring up before we do our final close? All right, just a reminder then, if you are expecting ELA credit for this KSIS training, first of all, make sure that you did register. If you didn't register, you still can register now. Then we will get a post-training survey that'll come out probably by the end of the day, tomorrow latest. You need to complete that. Once you've done both of those things, then you will get your ELA credit in the next 30 days. So it's a pretty automated process as long as those two things. If you don't find it, please do check to make sure that you've got, it's not in your, maybe in your junk or your clutter or in your email just before you say you've not gotten it. But typically you should get that directly to your email very quickly. All right, we appreciate it. We've got, we want to thank you. Some of you have participated with us all day. Some of you have joined us for this afternoon. Either way, we're just glad you participated, and we do hope that you'll share this information. The recorded sessions will be available on our KDE Media portal. If you know somebody that did not get a chance to attend today, please do share that link with them so they can watch the recorded sessions, or share the PowerPoint slides with them so they can get the additional information from there.